Welcome back to another episode of the HU and Beyond podcast, presented to you by HU Enrichment. Steven, your host as always, and today on the podcast, I got my boy Christiantus on the podcast. Chris, what's up, bro?
How you doing? I'm doing good. And you?
I'm doing all right, man. I can't complain. You know me. I'm pretty chill and everything. So, Chris, let's start off. Let's talk about you, obviously, because you're the man of the show today. So, right now, obviously, you're a HU student. So, what is your major? What year you are? And kind of give us an idea of what your major deals with.
All right, I'm Christiantus. I'm majoring in computer science, but I switched my major to ISIT this semester because I wasn't trying to do all that math and all that, to me, unnecessary stuff. So I'm doing ISIT now. I actually just hopped off an informational interview with a teacher speaking about ISIT. And the other question was what?
What was your Yeah, you basically said your major. I was just saying what year you are, and you pretty much said it already. Like you're a sophomore.
Sophomore.
Yeah. So the last thing I'll ask you is, because you said you switched your major from one to another to ISIT right now, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So can you kind of give us an idea of what ISIT is in a nutshell?
All right. My understanding, right? Because I could be wrong. My understanding of ISIT is computer science, right? I'm explaining in terms of computer science. Computer science deals with the back end, like as in they're the ones who actually code and etc. The job of the ISIT is theories. We understand that code and we apply applications. Applications is computer science. We're the infrastructure. So we're the behind the scenes. They're the behind the scenes. We're the behind the scenes before what you see. So they do all the stuffs. We then take that and then do some little tweaks, make sure it's good, look at the theories, etc., and then shoot it out, which is what the people see.
Okay.
And I mean, it's bugs and etc. I know that.
That makes sense. I mean, and also since you just switched over, I can understand you still trying to get an understanding of it yourself. So it makes sense to me. And obviously, no one would blame you. But it seems like But to kind of add on to it, I know you said some of the reasons was like due to like you didn't like doing a lot of math, but were there other reasons why you switched over to that major?
I'm not a sit down in one place type person. I am a nerd, right? Don't get me wrong. I am a nerd, right? I love learning. I love books, but I'm not trying to give it a negative term, but I'm not the type that will just sit down in one spot, coding left and right always. So like I want to move around, and ISIT gives me a little bit of that. And I love engineering. I enjoy coding, honestly. But just just me sitting down in one spot, coding, cracking my head, doing what's it called, fixing bugs and all that. I just don't see myself doing it.
Okay. I mean, hey, dude, look, I'm a big advocate. If you don't enjoy one, try the other, especially if you have the time. I mean, it makes sense. You don't want to waste your time on something you don't enjoy doing. So completely understand that. But okay, so let's kind of move on and shift gears to another topic. So, Chris, let's kind of start from the beginning. Where are you originally from?
Like originally?
Yeah, originally.
Originally, all right. I'm Nigerian, so I'm Nigerian. I'm Igbo. I'm from Mbise, Igbo, right? I'm gonna go deep. I'm gonna not go too deep because people want to understand. I'm from Mbise, so Igbo Quinn. The people that watch this will know what that is. Hey,
okay.
All right. So I'm from Igbo. I grew up in Lagos, which is a city, a very popular city, but it's not an Igbo land. It's a Yoruba land. And I went to school there, did my education. And out of the blue, my parents just said we were moving out. We moved out because of circumstances and issue. The country at that time was going through terrorist attacks and et cetera. The terrorists were known as Boko Haram. So they were honestly just bombing, and the main target was Christian, and I'm a Christian. And I remember this one story. My pops came back from work, and it was saying how he was taking the bus to work, right? And for some reason, he wasn't able to get on the particular bus, and he was going to be late. And he was already saying, "Damn, like I wasn't able to get on the bus, and I'm going to be late to work, etc." But then about a few minutes later, the bus in the news shows up in the news, and it was like the bus had a bomb in it, and it blew up, and people died in there. So he came back from work that and was telling the story. At that time, I was like, "Sure, cool." But looking back right now, I'm like, Jesus Christ, that man could have died, and etc. And of course, I didn't know what that was at that time. But now looking back, it's like, wow, God, thank you. And it was a very serendipitous moment.
I mean, dude, just hearing that, I mean, obviously, your dad dodged a bullet that day, literally, when,
Yeah.
that bus could have been the end. And just hearing, you grew up in basically in a rough area, and your parents decided, hey, they want a better living situation for you. So
Mm-hmm.
they got you out of there. And then that kind of led you to, I guess, Harrisburg. And that's how you kind of ended
Yeah.
up here.
All right. So we came in here, and it was my first summer in another man's land. I was like, whoo. So in my language, we call the white people, because America is known as white man's land. We call it I forgot what my mom calls it in her language. Alabiki, meaning the land of the white man, right? And it's basically we see it as a land of opportunity, a land of fruits that grows with milk and honey, right?
Mhm.
And I made sure my parents always growing up made sure to tell me, yo, when you're here, make sure you don't waste this opportunity. Make sure whatever you see, take it in like a sponge, soak up everything you can as much as you can, because this is probably a lot of people who want to be in the same spot you're in. So I came here, I stopped at Philly. I was, I believe, 12 years old when I came here, 2016. 12 years old, stopped at Philly. Then I met with my cousins that I've never seen. So it was a surprising moment. And at that time, I believe I was like 5 foot or like 4'11", 5'1", 5'3", right? And I have about four cousins that were living in the house, my auntie's kids. So I got there, I said hi to them, and then her third born, right? His name's Kachi. He's super tall. So I was like, oh, let me go see my cousin. I went up to his room. I was knocking. It was like, who is it? I didn't answer, because at that time my accent was very strong, right? And I didn't want him to be like, who is this person? And I was knocking, he didn't answer. He finally opened the door. He opened the door. He looked down. My eye level was right here. And then it took me a while to be like, oh my God, he's tall. So I raised my head up. I was like, you're tall as hell. And I was like, oh my God, it's my little girl. And then we had a little report and spoke for a little bit. And then, yeah. And then I stayed over there for, after about 3-6 months, they were able to put me into middle school. I did middle school, did my 7th grade, and something pretty bad happened. And then I transferred school to 8th grade, did my 8th grade in Fallcraft, which is when I moved to Hillcraft, I believe. And then from then I came to Harrisburg and then did my high school years. So I've been, honestly, I've been jumping from school to school.
All right.
Yeah.
So then by high school, you had some level of stability, because then from that point, you were able to do did you do all 4 years at John Harris?
Now I did 3.5 years, and then the rest of the quarter years or half years I did at SciTech campus.
Okay. So basically your high school year it seemed like it was a much better than the middle school, since you had to do you did a lot more moving middle school wise than you did high school wise.
Yeah, I'm definitely ready for that. Yeah.
Right. So, like I said, you went to John Harris for a couple of years, then you finished the rest of it at SciTech. Now, during that time, how was your high school experience overall? Like, what was some good moments from it? What was like, well, let me specify. What is one thing that you really enjoyed about your high school experience?
Ooh, that's a lot. Okay, I'm gonna say that particular high school, it taught me, honestly, just coming to America in general. It's a lot for me to just say one particular thing. Let me think. Okay.
How about, let me specify, if you just had to pick one, you don't have to like overthink it. If there's one thing that comes to mind about the experience that is like, yeah, that's something I'm definitely going to remember for a long time, what would that be?
Uh, the value of knowledge, I could say. Yeah, the value of knowledge. Because if I didn't know the things I did then, and if I wasn't that open to knowledge, I'd be a completely different person. I will need to explain it, and a whole lot. It's gonna take a long time for me to explain this in order for people to understand why I said that. But yeah, definitely knowledge. It summarizes everything.
Okay.
And just to clear myself.
So let me ask another question on the same framework. Now, obviously, from a entirely different place, what did you feel a sense of a culture shock while in high school? Because then, I don't know if John Harris or SciTech were that diverse. But did you feel any sense of culture shock during your high school time, or was that something that maybe that kind of happened more in college for you?
The culture shock was mostly in middle school because that's where I seen less people my color. Right,
Mm,
but in high school, yeah, was my high school was predominantly black people and Hispanic, and there was only, I believe, a 2% white people in that school. Uh, yeah, there wasn't the only culture shock I say is how African Americans and Africans are very different, but yet, I'm saying similar, just very different how we're raised and our morals and etc.
okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean,
Which
yeah,
is
because like,
also which is also why I was talking about the knowledge then, the things I'm grateful for the things I know then and what I was open to knowing at that time. Yeah.
okay. I mean, that definitely makes sense. I mean, like, as also someone who lived in a different continent at one point, I can definitely agree to that. There's definitely a lot of different terms of like how people perceive the knowledge they gained over the years. So that's also a pretty good skill set. I'm not skill set, a good thing to know. But now let's talk your transition to college. Cause high school, obviously you did 3.5 years, John Harris, half, and sci tech. How was the college process for you in terms of like, let's start off with how many colleges did you really look at? Or if not, were you thinking about college initially, or was it like, maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't?
Growing up in an African household, you gotta be thinking about college. Like pretty much they did not just spend the entire life savings on you for you not to go to college. It'd be a slap in the face and they would in fact disown you if you were to tell them you're not going to college. Yeah, college
Mhm.
rules at the back of my mind, and which is also why I say knowledge. Honestly, not knowledge. If you know a lot of things, you would lack little, right? So knowledge. At that time, I had little knowledge about college. Nobody, pretty much back in Africa, I'd say my understanding of that, you just apply, or the school actually picks you, right? You go there and you do your education, and also you don't even have the liberty of picking your major. They pick whatever major they want you to do, which is crazy because I'd say there's such little schools there compared to the US. Like it's very small, right? And
Mhm.
sometimes we having too many students in one. So they pick whatever they think you should do. It's not even what's best for you. They pick whatever they think you should do and then places you in there. So which is a go ahead.
So when they pick what you guys like do you have any like do they have any way of trying to determine that, or just like, okay, what, he seems like he could be a computer science guy, or this guy can be like construction, like it's something like that, like is there a method to how they
Yeah.
pick?
Yeah. The countries, okay, let me not go so deep. I'd say it's based on their perceived intelligence of you.
Hmm, that's
Based on
interesting.
yeah, again that. And of course there's corruption. Rich people, they could easily maneuver their way, and yeah, just like it is in every country, but in my country it's it's terrible.
Because we have
And go ahead. I'm
no,
listening.
you go ahead. No, I'll interrupt you on that one.
Yeah, you were talking about the other question was college, right? So yeah, college was at the back of my mind, and I didn't start thinking about it until sophomore, right? That's also when a particular teacher, Dr. Manning, I won't forget his name. He probably think it didn't have as much impact in me as it does right now, but he does. He's a hard headed man, right? Very strong willed, but he means well, right? And of course, at that time, kids don't understand like people who actually mean good for them. They see open rebuke as hatred. So he was my computer science teacher. He's also one of the ones that made me want to major in computer science, right? Computer science teacher, and it was also the track coach. So it was like, Chris, come on for track practice one time. I was like, no, not doing that. Why'd I run? And at that time, I played soccer, right? And I wasn't all that great. So then he kept on persuading me. I ended up going. I was like, all right, sure, I'll do track. Long story short, I skipped practice. I come practice, skip practice, I come practice. But every time I skip, I always meet him in class, and he's like, "Yo, why don't you skip practice?" Blah blah. And then he uh, cautions me. He's like, "You stop skipping practice." Blah blah. So eventually, I fell in love with the sport, right? And then in my junior year of college, that's junior year of high school, which is when COVID sort of struck too. That's when I realized I was like, "Oh my god, I can actually pursue college for track and field and etc." And moving. I'm a jump track right now. So my freshman year of high school, right? I was freshman year of high school. I wasn't too smart. I'm gonna put it like that. I wasn't too smart, right, in my choices and etc. So I had a very low GPA, and then my sophomore, junior year of high school, I was like, yo, I gotta get my GPA on track. I'm trying to get to a good university. So then I started studying, reading, etc. So I was able to get it to be pretty high, and my junior year was, I believe, a 3.8, 3.9, and I was like, all right, I could do this. So yeah, long story short, I was trying to get into college for academics or athletics or do both, but because of some situations that I probably can't really go too deep in, but I was unable to, and then yeah, and then I'm not too sure how to tie this together.
I mean, no, you don't have to. I mean, like you're just kind of spewing different topics because I mean, which is really good because again, your high school is a lot of stuff is like, yeah, I can maybe mix these things together, but it's kind of hard. So that's understandable because I got you on this. So let me ask you another thing. So when it came to, let's talk senior year, you right? When it came to applying to colleges, what colleges were you looking at, and then how did you basically end up at HU as your destination?
All right, I'm a huge gamer, right? Well, I was at that time huge gamer. League of Legends, a baby, right? But I hate the game right now. It's like a love-hate relationship, but I really hate the game. But it's the only game, and I'll see myself playing, right? Huge gamer, right? And also a huge athlete. I enjoy sports and etc. And I love learning. So then, yeah, I applied to college, and then I seen it was like, hey, Charles University is a school downtown, and they got esports, and they pay you full ride scholarships to go to the school. I was like, hold on, let me look into it. So, I got a couple information about it, and I seen the League of Legends program they offered, and I applied. First of all, I filled out the questionnaire for the league for the esports, right, to see if I can get a full ride. I applied, but at that time, my rank in the game was too low. I believe I was a gold, and it needed to be, I believe, a diamond 3 and up at that time. And I was like, how would I get there? And also, my specs for playing the game was not that good, which is not an excuse, honestly, because I've seen some really good players playing on like 40 FPS and still be messing people up playing on like 120 and 360. So yeah, and then I was like, how can I go? So I was like, all right, let me spread my wings still. Let me apply to other colleges. So I applied to, honestly, applied to a lot.
Was it more than 10?
It was more than 20 something. It was about 30 something colleges. Yeah, I got into 90% of them. I say, yeah, 95% of them. And the reason why I didn't get into the rest was I applied out after the deadline. I was able to plead for some to accept me, but some didn't.
Okay, so that makes sense.
Yeah, so after all that, I was like, okay, now to bring them together, because of course it's tuition. I'm not going. Pretty much me right now, I don't ever want to take out loans. I don't ever want to pay back, because I've seen how much people can be in debt from my parents, from my mentors, from people I watch, people I listen to, and etc. So I was like, all right, if I'm going to go to college, I'm going to try to spend as little as possible, right? I was like, all right, tallied all of them together. And then the final two was Temple, Point Park. Sorry, it was final four. Temple, Point Park, one, I think Penn State or something, and then Harrisville University. I was like, okay, all right. Then Point Park and Penn State knocked off. It was like Temple and HU. I was like, huh. Okay, so Temple offered me this good amount of scholarship. All I had to pay was, I believe, $6K or $7K, including housing per year, right? And HU offered me pretty much 4,000 is what I have to pay, and I live close to the school, so I wouldn't have to be doing housing, right? And at Temple, it being a Philly, my auntie lives there. She's really, really close to the house, really close to the school. But I was like, do I really want to move to Philly again? And I started going to school. So I was like, all right, you know what, scratch that. So eventually I was like, all right, let me see if I could work this out with these people. So I went to HU. I spoke to Aaron Spinner, right? I was like, hey, do I qualify for this scholarship? Blah, blah. Because the scholarship was that if you graduated from any high school in Harrisburg, right? Dauphin County or something. You
Mm.
qualify for them to reduce your cost. And it was like, oh yeah, you do. I was like, bingo, I know my school. And then and then boom, out of that I just applied. And then the day before school, before class resumes, I was like, please, when I go in there, they have my name registered. Please, when I go in there. And then boom, they were like, Christiantus? I was like, yep, here. And then I was like, oh, it's my school. And then yeah. But the only downside I'd say is because I really enjoy sports, and the school not offering sports was honestly the one of the things. But at this point, I'm just used to it. It is what it is.
Or so wait, so you weren't officially like you went into your first day not knowing if you were actually like in there yet?
Yeah. I wasn't too sure because at that time too, I haven't even paid because I
Oh,
haven't paid for the. I put down my deposit, right, but I
okay.
didn't pay fully, so I wasn't sure because in Nigeria you gotta pay everything off before they see you in that school. So I was like,
Right.
ooh, let me just pray. So I went in there. Well, you know what I'm saying, played it off though. Like I said, of course I'm there, but like, hey, what's up? How you doing? You know what I'm saying? But then the teacher called my name, I was like, yep, I'm right here. And then yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're not the first person I've heard who literally had that moment happen to them. Because I mean, usually at HU, like as long as you have some sort of plan you had with them, whether it's usually finance, those guys over there, 9 times out of 10, you should be all fine, and you will show up on the register, and then you can just go to class until or handle your whatever finance business with them at the given time they asked of you. So, I mean, hey, it worked out for you. You got an HU after applying over 30 colleges, which I mean, man, I'm not built like that, but I
my
respect it.
my head was cracking. Yo, as in if I would have showed you the amount of letters I was receiving daily from oof.
I mean,
Who wasn't
bro, you're a free agent. You're looking for someone to call it home, and you picked us, and hey, we've always appreciated it. Now you're here, Harrisburg University. Now in year 2, you're kind of moving up in the world. You know, so let's talk about it. So HU. So you've been here now almost 2 years. You're in your spring semester currently.
yeah. I did. Oh, not to cut you off. Yeah,
Go
the
ahead.
2 plays because I did dual enrollment, by the way,
Oh, you did do a run
at the
through
school.
us.
Yeah, from SciTech. Yeah,
Oh,
which is another reason too why they were able to take out some scholars some money from me. Yeah.
okay. Okay. I mean, that's even better. I mean, obviously, obviously HU in Richmond, that's kind of our area. So that's surprising that I did. Well, obviously my bosses probably know you more than I do, but that's awesome to see that you did dual enrollment through Harrisburg University. And kind of now to add on to that, how was that experience doing dual enrollment? Was it like, what did you take from that?
I did English 105, and just being in a college environment, it taught me about independence. Cause one of my friends, right, Hezekiah, bro, I was like, so how many more classes you got today? He was like, it's my only one. I'm like, huh? What do you mean you only taking one class a day? And it was like, yeah, like one, I take one today and I got like 3 more tomorrow and then that's it. And so one class a day. So what do you do the rest of the day? Was like, just go to my dorm, maybe work, cook, and then chill. And I'm like, wow, I could definitely see myself doing this. Because at high school, I was taking 7 classes at that time as a senior. Because I said this thing to myself, right? Like I said, I wasn't too good academically in my 9th grade year. So I was like, all right, listen, Chris, we're going to make sure we get a really high GPA. Just honestly, because of college and also for myself, just as a reassurance of me being who I say I am. So I was like, all right, we're gonna get a really high GPA. So I took 2 AP classes or 3 AP classes and then a college credit, which then bumped my GPA from I believe something a 3.0 or something, or 3 point something to, and then I was like a 4.1. And I was like, all right, I'm done. Yeah.
There you go. I mean, look, man. I mean, one, your GPA was definitely better than mine. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I never even had a 4. I think the highest I ever had was like a 3.6.
Ooh,
So
I am mine right
like,
now.
look, look, is my thing when it came to GPAs, at least for me in my career, was like, hey, just keep it above a 3. Don't go below it. which I did. I graduated with a 3.35, so didn't go below 3. But also understand that the knowledge you're gaining throughout your 4 years, some of it might just be stuff that's gets you past the time versus, hey, this is something career wise. You guys got to know the balance and overall just enjoying the experience. Now, to kind of add on to you, like I said, you're here. So let's kind of talk specifically with your first year. How was like your first year at HU? Like, what is like one of your favorite moments if you had to pick one from your first year of HU?
The day I found out there were some Africans in here, African students, like, yeah, honestly, just the sense of community and family. I was like, because I was walking there, Alex, Alex Amuri. He's like pretty much a big Alex. He's tall, 6'2", big guy.
Yeah, I know Alex.
Graduated. Yeah. And I was walking out and I put on my fit. Like I made sure I was looking fly that day. It was summer too. Yeah, September something. So yeah, I put it on. And I was walking at school, and I was like, hold on. You African? And I was like, yeah. And then it was like Nigerian. I was like, Joe, what's up, bro? And it was like Nigerian. And then I said something in that language. I was like, sure, boy, Yoruba. I'm like, of course not. Which means like he resonated. He understand what I'm trying to say. So I was like, oh my God, it's more. And then he pointed me out to other Africans, Nigerians, and other people who were either from the same country or just right next to us. So I was like, wow, this is my school. Like I could see myself here. So that was my favorite memory of coming to the school.
I mean, yeah, like I can definitely agree. We have a very big African population here. A lot of people, either they lived there or had family who lived there, all that stuff. I mean, I always love, different cultures or the same cultures meet up and like bond with each other because it also just helps them feel more comfortable in the space they're in. And, it's also great because then at least the formation of things where they can spread their culture to other people who are just curious about what they do. Because then I know at HU we have, and if I butcher this is crazy. ASA. We have ASA. And then and correct me if I'm wrong, Chris. Is CAS and ASA the same thing?
Yeah. So Caribbean African Student Association, because I'm explaining to you. So before I came here, right, there was a CSA and there was the ASA, right? But then the CSA folks graduated, and then there wasn't enough Caribbean people in the school, so they combined it too.
Okay.
So that's why it's CASA.
Yeah, because during my time when I was here, it was just known as the CSA, because then it was like, all the like they just made that little club there. I remember literally being in that first SGA meeting when they were like announcing it. So, but then I realized a lot of them did graduate, and I don't think a lot of their siblings went here. So, just that's kind of made those things. So with ASA, I'm assuming you're a member of that, right?
I'm a rep too.
You're rep too?
Yeah, but
nice.
I sort of retired my position because it got really busy for me for fall semester.
Okay. So but prior to retiring from it, were you a member since like your freshman year?
Yeah, as soon as I walked in there, because I've known Malik. I've known Malik for the longest. He's the one I've known longer than everybody in there. Because when he first came here too, he lived in the apartment complex I was staying, and then he went to the same high school I would. So I helped him out, and he also helped me out too. So he was basically showing me around the school, just like how I showed him around John Harris when I used to go there. He pretty much introduced me to my brother.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, no, and obviously for those who are listening and watching, Malik was on the podcast a couple weeks ago. We had a cool episode with him to talk about stuff. He still had me on with that pizza thing, bro. I can't with that kid, man. Like, bro, it was funny. If you're wondering what we're talking about, check out the episode from there. You're gonna love it. It was very funny and definitely informative.
I'm trying to top him because his episode was definitely funny. So I'm trying to make mine the funniest. Just a friendly competition. Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with a little friendly competition. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, so let's move on. Talk about what you've been up to HU wise. So like obviously you're part of ASA, and could you kind of give the people at home an idea of what that is and what you guys do?
All right. ASA, also known as CASA, CASA is basically a club, right, or an organization of people who are from Africa or have some African experience and us trying to spread out to the world and just just knock off all the false news about Africa, where it'd be like, oh, you used to live in huts, or oh, you used to hunt down lions and all that. So just, yo, we got buildings there. We actually got skyscrapers there. We got planes there. Because if we don't have planes, we wouldn't be able to come here. And if we don't have ships, we wouldn't be able to come here. We can't swim 200,000 miles, 20,000 miles. You know what I'm saying? So to share our culture with people.
Okay. And I think also for those want to know more about ASA, please, there is a link in the description on YouTube and Spotify. It's a link to their Instagram. Check it out. That gives you a lot more information. Also to events if you're in the local Harrisburg area that you can come by and learn more about the African culture as well. Because again, there's a lot of misconceptions, and this club helps learning in terms of learning more about their culture and also just about a lot of other stuff. So make sure to check them out. But thank you, Chris, for that. I think a lot of people definitely do overthink that stuff. And also it comes to like a lot of memes too. I think that's also up there as well. But okay. So my next thing I wanted to ask you is kind of, and outside of ASA, what are other things you've been involved with HU wise during your time here?
I'm part of HU Storms, the soccer club. Okay. So yeah, I've been giving my fair share of troubles to the opposing soccer teams. We had a season's win of 6 wins and 1 loss when we first started, and then we've been losing honestly since last season. We lost, I believe, 3 times, won 3 times, and tied 2 times or something. So it wasn't so good compared to the other season. And yeah, this season right now we starting out strong. Yeah, we just had our first game. Hopefully, I think we having our second game this Tuesday.
Okay. And is it like a community type of thing where you just play against some people and then go do your thing?
Yeah, it's a club. So we play against other schools that are registered in Yellow Britches Club organization, and other soccer clubs, I'd say.
Awesome. Okay. I mean, that's dope. I mean, hey, good luck to you guys. Hopefully you get another dub in there, and looking forward to seeing the results. Also to kind of add on, Chris also from time to time helps with HU merch pop-up shop. So anytime you're in the Harrisburg University main campus, you might see him either at the table or giving us some musical entertainment because he loves playing the piano. Yeah, he calls it his baby.
That's my baby.
How long have you been like,
her?
yeah, like no, let me ask this. How long have you like been learning playing the piano? Is that something you just picked up over the time or like
yeah, definitely something I just picked up over the time. It was one of those moments where it's like I'd rather spend my time being productive than just consuming. So I just was like, all right, let me learn a new instrument, I'd say. And yeah, I picked it because there was a piano right there. I'm like, yo, nobody plays this. Do you know how much this costs? I googled up the cost of that. It's like 10 grand, like from 6 to 10 grand. No, 6 to 15 grand. Regarding whenever they bought that instrument, because it was probably more expensive at the time they bought it. Because right now the price went down. It's like, wow, they have this grand piano and an electrical one too, which is more expensive because they don't got to be tuning it all the time. Yeah, I was like, I gotta at least try. So then since then, yeah, I was playing, and I had a little bit of prior piano knowledge because in my church, the pianist who was teaching me a little bit. But at that time, growing up, I was very, very, very stubborn and very adamant. I didn't want to know anything regarding music, and I just wanted to play. I just wanted to have fun. That to me at that time was boring. But growing up now, I need some peace. I need to at least calm my mind, and the piano does just that. Which is why I call it my baby, because she calms me.
Yeah, I mean, like, I let you have it, bro, because I'm just like, whenever it's a slow time at the table, I'm like, hey, you want to go play your baby? Go have fun with it, man. Like, I'm not going to stop you.
I appreciate it, bro.
Hey, it's no problem. You always do good business for us at the table, so it's only right. I reciprocate it. But I think we've talked enough about kind of your activities in a nutshell. So, let's kind of ask you, obviously, look, you're nowhere near graduation. Obviously, you still have some time. But, however, Do you know what you want to do after you graduate, or that's still something I'll cross that road when I get there?
Uh, so definitely, I definitely don't want to cross that road when I get there because I've heard a lot of people when I ask them, hey, what is an advice to give to young guys, they say, hey, make sure you do an intern and make sure you're already working at a company before you graduate. Because once you graduate, it's going to be harder for you to get a job. So speaking about what I want to do, I just got off a call today with David Paul. He's a ICT teacher at Harris University and very insightful man. He's been in the ICT field for 30 plus years. So I was like, great man to ask questions. So I bombarded him with a lot of questions, like about 10 questions about ICT. Why did he choose it? If it has any potential for growth, advice you'd give his younger self doing it, any particular class that he advised me to take, and etc. And they give me a lot of information. And I also asked him about the concentrations, etc. The ones HU offer, and he said he gave me a path I could take, I'd say. And graduating from HU, I definitely see myself doing IT, but I'm probably going to be either the website design or IT or the infrastructure, like let's say fixing stuff for them or something. And I plan on adding that, combining that too, in order for me to be a project manager or just getting my master's of business and adding that knowledge I got from IT into my own personal cooperation, and just blossoming. Yeah. Very rough path.
I mean, look, man, I like the mindset you have. I mean, I know some people who do think that way, and I mean, sometimes it works for them, but I feel like it's always a career to career basis on that because not everyone can relate to what you're doing. You know, we're all going with different majors or concentrations, and some of us have to think about post grad with medical school and all that stuff. So you understand that. And I like where you're going with that. So I was glad to hear you're thinking about life after at an early start. So now, two more things, obviously. The first thing, now, our lovely segment, the most asked questions from the internet. I got a couple for you. Very simple ones. And let's see, at this point, can you top Malik's? At this point, it's going to be a very interesting moment. So I got a couple questions here on my screen. I'm going to ask you one by one, and feel free to say yes, no, or whatever to each question. So the first question is going to be, now, would you rather take $500,000 or have a dinner with a celebrity of your choosing, dead or alive?
Dead or alive? I'm taking that dinner.
Really?
Taking that dinner. Yeah. Because with that, right? Because with that, good question. Oof.
Yeah. Now you got to think that one, bro. You're going to take the dinner for $500,000. You got to give me someone who's worth it.
So I could pick my role model, right? I'm going to just start his name, Jose Zuniga. He's a YouTuber. No, he's a businessman that has a YouTube channel teaching men's fashion, right? I could pick him, right? But I'd rather, since I could pick anybody, I'd rather choose me a billionaire. My role model is also a millionaire, but I'd rather choose me a billionaire because with them, I could have more connections. And honestly, I could just ask them for a simple question. Hey, can you give me 60 phone numbers I could call to give them this my business idea or be in business with them? And then just say, can you please let them know that you give me this? And just with that, from that referral and that networking, I could get their knowledge. And from their knowledge, I could have me $1 million by the end of this year. Yeah, I'm definitely thinking long term, not the easy 500 grand. Yeah, I'm thinking about the future. And from that $1 million, I have 60 connections or 6 connections that could potentially be business partners and make me earn a lot of money.
No, I respect it. I mean, there's most people just take the money because they're just like, bro, that's right there, instant, value versus long term.
I didn't even say the name yet. I'd probably say, I'm gonna make this controversial. I'm gonna tell you who I would have said, right? But I'm gonna say who I'm gonna say. Let's say Elon Musk. I'm gonna go Elon Musk.
Yeah. Okay. So you'll take the dinner with Elon Musk.
Because he's a businessman, but also IT man, which is what I'm doing.
Fair. That's very fair. Okay. So your first question, you'll take the dinner with Elon Musk. Okay. Next up. Now, the next question is kind of a throwback because since you say you're trying to top Malik, let's try to see you top Malik. Now, what is your opinion on pineapple on pizza? You like it or no?
No, they do not correlate. They were not made. They were not made to be together. I don't know why people try to say that. That's almost like saying water and milk. Why?
I mean,
one
fair.
or the other.
No, that's a negative. That's like, but have you ever had a Hawaiian pizza though?
Hawaiian pizza? Nah, it doesn't. I don't think I have.
Yeah, so it's basically it's like pineapples, ham, and something else on a pizza essentially. So, but to kind of add on to it, it's I'm not gonna give it its flowers. It's not that great to me. It's not that great. But now my next question would be, what is something that you like on pizza that other people probably don't?
Let me think now.
And this is where you got to really think about this one here.
People don't, right?
Or you think that people don't?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't really be eating pizza like that, but I'm gonna say some chicken and some bacon.
That's actually pretty good.
And ranch. Can't go wrong with ranch. Ranch with pizza. Yeah,
fair.
Yeah, those. Yep.
Fair. Okay. Next up on the board, let me pop it up a little more so I can see it better because, like, I got about two more for you. And again,
we got time.
Got you. Now, the next one is more of a different subject. We're going to talk about superpowers. Now, the question is, if you could have a superpower for 1 year, which one would you have and why?
For 1 year, you put a time limit on that?
Yeah, 1 year, man. You only got that for 1 year.
If you would have said I could have any superpower, I would have picked super speed. But for 1 year, I'd pick let me go look at superpowers in the world.
I told you.
Superpowers. We got telekinesis, time manipulation, superhuman strength, energy.
Yeah, bro. You gotta look at these. I mean, personally, the super speed is not a bad one.
Mm-hmm. But I can only have it for a year, though. Yeah, I'm trying to
only for a year.
Pick the right one. I need something that will benefit me. Even after that year, I wouldn't wish I had it again.
Well, I don't know if you would want immortality. That's not it's a tricky.
Seems nice in the moment, but in the long run, you wish you wouldn't.
Yeah, because then it's like, because then also be fair, you're not gonna have it for a long time. It's only for a year, so like But that's why we ask you questions. They're tricky for a reason.
Flight, and only because there's so many downsides to anything I'm about to choose right now. Flight, I'm gonna say flight, but then the government is gonna be on me. Then they're gonna want to dissect me and figure out what's making me tick. So, for a year, I'm just go with speed. Super speed, faster than speed of light. Yeah.
There you go. I like it. So he's going to pick super speed. All right. Next up is, what is one sport that you find silly and have trouble understanding why other people enjoy it? Wait, baseball. What? Really?
Baseball. Baseball.
Damn. I didn't even finish the question.
Baseball.
Wait, what? Baseball?
I get football. I get rugby. I get soccer. I get track. I get table tennis. I get tennis. But baseball? Okay, let me explain why I get rugby and football. First of all, football, I never liked that sport. Just growing up, I was like, yo, they're messing themselves up, getting head injuries and all that. But then I just realized I was confusing football for rugby. Rugby to me is more dangerous, right?
Right.
So then looking back, I was like, looking back in high school, I wish I did football because it would have taken me far. It was actually a pretty good sport. Just gotta not get hit, be really, really fast, which I'm pretty confident in my speed. Right, so yeah, just be pretty fast. So why I said baseball, I never really got the spot. I never really got what's so hype about it. Because to me, this is my opinion. It's not as much physical and intense as let's say wrestling or soccer or track or football, right? Like if you were to look at athletes, they're built. They look like athletes, like they're buff, like they're six-pack, chiseled, all that. But baseball, some of them, I'd be saying like, because the sport to me is mostly your arm. If you got a really good arm, it's over for the enemy. Right? If you could really throw and not mess up your shoulder, it's over. So to me, it's more like something that's for fun. I wouldn't really call it a sport. Is what I said. Just from my understanding. Yeah. And then just hit it and you run. And I played the sport too, like that's like, this is what people were hyped about. Like this, like there is no messing this dude up, like tackling each other. No, that you just gotta catch it and throw it, and then just wait there until the ball comes to you, and you can't stretch, you slide. And once in a while, if somebody hits this cool slide or hits this fake and etc., like that's cool. But then apart from that, there's no. I feel like what you can do in that sport is limited. Yeah.
You're not wrong. There's a lot of limitations in baseball just because of safety precautions, because they just don't want players like trying to like legit hurt the other. And then in the situation when they do happen, because there are times where a player legit will throw the ball at the player and almost hit them in the head sometimes or in the shoulder. Or in some cases, low blows and stuff like that, because it does happen. Because the balls are going about 70 to almost 100 miles an hour. Yeah. So those are going to hurt. You know, obviously, when you see it on TV, it's different than actually feeling it. But understandable. But okay, man. I mean, hey, that was.
And I could be saying that just based off, not to cut you off, I could be saying just based off the sports I played. I did wrestling and track and soccer. So all those sports are very, very competitive, very intense. You know what I'm saying? You could, in fact, make some new moves in there. And literally, apart from the track one, we just got to be really fast and dust people, which translates to moves on to soccer and football and all that. Yeah, I'm basing that off of my own personal experience. That's why it's my opinion.
That's all fair, man. I mean, it's understandable. But hey, that was the questions. So thank you for answering them. What's up?
If you were to pick a sport that you think is overhyped, what would you say?
I'm gonna go with. Like I wasn't a big. I know. So the issue is I understand the sport, but I still find it silly sometimes because I just when I used to live there, everyone loved it as cricket. I'm not a big fan of cricket. I just can't.
Let me make sure it's exactly what I'm thinking about. Which one you just said?
Yeah, because dude, cricket. Like obviously, my family loves it because obviously I come from a family of Jamaicans, so I get why they love it. I don't like it. Like I'll sit watch a match of cricket and I'm just like I'm good. I'm good.
It's similar to baseball.
Yeah, but it's not as fun. It's not as fun. Like they both have the similar premise of hitting a ball, but different rules, of course. But it's just not as fun to me to watch. Like I'd rather watch baseball 9 times over because it's more funner to watch because there's more like I guess entertainment value in it versus cricket. And again, no disrespect to cricket, it would be obviously as a half Jamaican, it'll be disrespectful to say that, but that's just me being honest. Like, cricket, I understand the sport, I respect it. It's just not my cup of tea. So I would say cricket.
Gotcha.
Yeah, my dad would probably hate me right now hearing this, but that's his problem.
if he watches it,
he watches. He watches and then he texts me like, "Hey, you could have said this question better," or like something like that. He's just being annoying. It's fine. I'm used to him already. If you are watching, listen, work on learning how to use iPhone better. Let's get better with that. You know what I'm saying?
My parents in the same boat, man.
Exactly. Look, I love them, but learn the technology today. Let's go. I know it's tough, but you got this. You're halfway there. You can FaceTime. That's good.
Right.
That's all that matters. YouTube though, let's not touch that for a little bit. You got to build on that. But in any case, to get back on point, the last thing I'm gonna ask you, Chris, is you have the floor now. To if you wanted to thank anyone, shout anyone out on the podcast, feel free to, man. The floor is yours.
All right. First of all, I'd like to thank Arizona University for giving us the opportunity to attend them, because honestly, I'd be at a it would have sucked really bad if I wasn't going to HU, and I'm very appreciative for God and the school itself and the people I met. Honestly, you, Stephen, for example, you have been a tremendous impact in my life, honestly, and content creation, the HU merch, and all the information and life coaching business you've been giving me. Like I see you as my mentor, and I really appreciate it. And shout out who else? My boy Malik. That's really my brother, bro. He's been helping me. I've been helping him since for it's been 3-4 years now. Yeah, I've known him. And those from shout out. All my friends, like, yeah, my friends for sure. Because I'm not trying to say this one's guy's name and then be like, why didn't you mention me? So
Right.
oh yeah, out there, you're my boys for real. And Mrs. Dr. A, Jennifer Accident. That was the first teacher I had at HU, and that's my favorite teacher to this day. She's one of my favorite teachers. Jennifer A, yep. She was my speech teacher. Oh, and I'm missing somebody else. Mrs. Belgrave, her too. Yep, those two. So yeah, I definitely appreciate them and their help and their mentorship and helping me be a better person and be a better student. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome, man. Well, obviously, first and foremost, thank you for coming on. We appreciate having you on. I mean, obviously, you know me, when it comes to when you guys give me praise, all I say is I give you the door. You take the opportunities that you see fit. So, but I'm always going to be proud of you for what you guys do and what you accomplish during your time here. And then once you leave here, because I always like to kind of interview you guys again, because obviously last week, well, not last week, technically, technically last week when the video went up, because today is the Friday, February 9th, your video goes up the following week. I interviewed an alumni who also worked alongside me for a couple of years, Marilyn. Always love to catch up with her, see what she's doing some crazy things. So I'm looking forward to doing a similar with you in the future. So definitely going to be a cool moment for you and myself too. So you got this, homie.
God keep me alive.
Exactly.
Man. I'm the entire world gonna know my name.
Exactly. And keep that same energy, because I know you got this, man. You got that. You already do well with your content. Is keep the same energy. So, as always, thank you for coming on the podcast. And for those who are, for those watching on YouTube, thank you for watching the video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and tell us what you would like to see on the content-wise on HU Enrichment. For those listening to us on Spotify, make sure you follow the page, and hope you enjoyed the podcast episode. This has been HU and Beyond. That was Christiantus. This is Steven signing out. We will see you guys in the next one. Later, guys.